And obviously collaborations over the years, I can think of the Lone Wolves Report, farright.com, contributions to conferences. I mean, is there anything for you that really stood out, something you're really quite proud of?
Well, because of my own work, I suppose the one that I still look to as a brilliant collaboration between Dr. Paul Jackson and Jerry Gable was the Lone Wolves Myth or Reality. I think that put a huge amount of information out into the into the public sphere. Some of the considerations of community of support, I think, are extremely important for how we understand lone wolf terrorism, and some of those things are receiving due attention. After the 4 or 5 years in which it's been published. So I think that is extremely important. The other two that you mentioned, collaborative conferences, is extremely important as well, and some of the people that Jerry's been able to bring over, at really both entertaining and extremely informed speakers. Alfeo Bernabe is one name that comes to mind. There's a number of other people. I'm Curses, I've got the book on my, forgive me, Leonard Zeskin is the name that I was looking for, is one in politics and spoke along with Leonard Weinberg. So those kinds of intellectual collaborations at conferences are fantastic, and long may they continue. The other thing that I think should and will continue is the book series that is a collaboration between the University of Northampton's R&M group and Searchlight. And again, that just shows the way in which front-facing practitioners, anti-fascists, can work with academics to produce groundbreaking research, but also not just research, but things that are kind of public-facing writings, things that Searchlight has been doing for many, many years. And that's probably a lesson for academics as well. We might be able to get a little bit out of our ivory tower and our polysyllabic language and learn from people who are writing direct, clear sentences saying this is what's going on the ground, on the street. And I think that's a very, very important lesson indeed.
Just to finally, I mean, you mentioned it before, the Searchlight archive that was brought over. So you were the director in the period kind of running up to the transfer. I know you organised funds and got it all really going. And the question is what made it so tempting an archive to bring over to Northampton?
Sure. Well, in a sense, that's an easy question. I remember very well sitting down with the Vice Chancellor at the University of Northampton, the acting dean, Doug Ray, Jerry himself, and really making the case then that I would make now today, which is this is the single most important post-war archive on the far right that there is, I think, in the world. And in that sense, seeing it grow, seeing it be cataloged in such an expert and detailed and dedicated way, actually, means that it is going to be something that is going to be of value to scholars, not just this year, not even just next decade, but for as long as time exists. As long as the University of Northampton, I think, is able to house it, is able to continue to support it, as long as Jerry Gables is happy to continue with the relationship, it continues to be something that, as word gets around, more and more scholars will see how invaluable it is for looking at the kind of changing fortunes and vicissitudes of the post-war far right. And I cannot praise enough the collaboration between Searchlight on the one hand and the University of Northampton on the other, and really making this collection, and it's several hundred boxes now. I think you're up to 500 plus boxes in the different things that again were the product of a lifetime's work and collection by Jerry, but not just his recognition of being able to loan that material, but also his willingness to share it with other scholars who might have different views than he does or have different interpretations, but it's out there in the public sphere now. And I really can't praise enough Northampton's farsightedness, and I think the decision to put this truly wonderful archive at the service of scholars and others who are interested in understanding both the far right, but anti-fascism's role in combating it now at 50 years.
As ever, Matt, it's been a great pleasure, and thank you for this. And I hope you have a lovely holiday across the world.
Well, unfortunately, it's not holiday, but maybe I'll just go to the beach once for you. Listen, please send my best wishes to everybody that's there. And again, I'm terribly saddened I can't be there with you in person. But well, alas, next year anyway. Thank you very much for speaking with me.
Take care.